All right, let's get into the power within us and that light inside of us that's being controlled by these 7 candlesticks, because we are the lampstand. We are the sons of God. We are the bodies and members of the Christ, who is the living God. We are the living God, and the light works through us. And this light is given to you by the candlesticks of this world. And this light is given to you by the natural light, by the people around you, because as man is the living God and the sons of God, this is God projecting onto us, but we need to enter within, because God and the Father and such lives within us, but they're trying to tell you it's out there. Okay, that's where they're taking your son, your begotten son, and you're having to go over here and go over there. And Jesus tells you, in that day, you will know that you don't have to go and ask, that you don't have to go and pray, because the Father is in I, and I in the Father, and we are all one. And we're all the sons of God, just as much as they say Jesus was, because Jesus is in us. Jesus is us. He is us. Jesus, he's us. The J is H, jalapeno, the Latin language, the Lawton language. Our English language came from Latin. Latin was spoken during the time of Jesus in that Roman Empire. Latin and Greek, that's part of that Old Testament Bible Jesus went against in the church. The Catholic Church is the same church of the Roman times. All your denominations came from the Catholics. It's all the same thing. Paul is teaching that Jesus is the second Adam, who's that so-called begotten son, going back to the beginning. And Jesus tells you got to come out of that in Revelation. So you're part of that candlestick burning, and this is where that flame is inside of you, controlling that flame inside of you, controlling that light inside of you, because that light, that begotten son, has been taken out of you and put out there, and it's being projected as something, and it's going to control you and bring you into hell on earth. And it's going to consume you, as the church is the Antichrist. As man is the Antichrist. Because the spirit of Antichrist has already been at work. And they've given you a projection saying, oh, this is Satan's music. And then it just went from there. And now everybody believes, well, that's a satanic cult ritual, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. While you're all just letting you watch it. You think you teach this, that, and the other, but you're the hypocrites, because Jesus told you to do it in the mind is to do it in the body, but yet you're all putting your entertainment on these things that are wicked and filthy and blah, blah, blah. So if killing people is so-called a sin, then why are you entertaining yourself killing people? With your movies, with your games, and all this other shit. This is the hypocrisy. This is where the people are going to go into bondage when they actually start getting these flames going really good in the body. And it's just going to burn the shit down, burn the temple down. So, when we watch a trumpet play through a pipe of flames, all right, I don't know if y'all have seen this video, but the flames, they work interactively with the trumpet as the frequency goes through the pipe. Okay, so this is here to teach us about ourselves and about this world. Because we are the lampstands. We have a light inside of us. This light, we see the sperm, egg, meat, light, hearts created, brains created. And one is connected to the left side. One's connected to the right side. The right side can only be connected, access through the left side. They teach us the left side is analytical, orderly, linear, logical, numbers, language. They teach us the right side is imagination, emotions, intuition, creativity, music, art. So in order to access the 90%, we got to go through the 10%. And this is where your begotten son, your 10% is being taken from you, where you can't access your 90%. Where you can't be 100% you. You got to be them. And instead of teaching, let's find the good in all things. Let's find the love in all things. Our world is teaching, let's find the bad in all things. That's why everybody has all these fucking therapeutical diseases or mental whatever going on or whatever they're teaching you is a problem. So your sun's all going dark as your sun goes dark. As the Nero, Kaiser, Augustus Permanente, whatever comes in. And your Nero is your NY, your New York. For your dawns of time, your sands of time. For your flip-flops and shit that's coming that's going to send y'all into the delusion. As the candlesticks are merged, as the new flames are given, okay, and the people are still holding their old candlesticks, they don't even know the new candlesticks are here. They don't know the new dragons here. They don't know the new mountains are here. Because they haven't even seen the abomination of desolation 280 days after the birth of the prime Marys. The dawn, that morning star, he's gone dark. That dark sun, that dark dawn is upon you. The dark sun Biden, the felons, Babylon has fallen. So this light, this 10%, this begotten, it's being taken from you and it's being brainwashed to you over time through your schools, through your textbooks, through your churches. They brought all your so-called churches, your schools, TV, all of it, like all that or whatever, it all like started like in the same 20-year increment of time or whatever. And as you can see, the old heaven coming or leaving back then and coming into a new way. Just these things are here to teach us. And the way they teach us is Hitler coming against the Jews. Well, that's what Jesus did as well. So technically speaking, Hitler is a Jesus character. But they teach it as an antichrist. The Antichrist, so-called Jesus, comes to get rid of the church. The church age is over because Jesus is inside of us. We're all the sons of God. We're all God. We all have access to a window of heaven that connects us to all men on earth, connects us to all women on earth, all masculine, all feminine, all spectrums. There are no boundaries anymore. The bond is no more. The free is. But there are those that are still in the bond that don't understand the new age, that don't understand the new candlesticks. And the beastmen, they're a physical nation, they're a carnal nation. So they see 666. The Jews take numbers as symbology or whatever. So this is where they're seared. That carnal man is seared by those begotten sons, by those candlesticks that is flaming up inside of them. Oh shit, they got digital currencies. They got digital ID. They got trannies. They got gays. They got anti-guns. Blah, blah, blah. All this shit. It's all there to divide you. It's all candlesticks burning at different degrees. And they're all, while they're burning hotter, the flame's getting lower in a way. So there's power inside of us. How do we know there's a power inside of us? Well, when you're all alone, you have these thoughts going on in your head. No one's talking, but you hear somebody talking in your head. That's one way. Well, when that sperm and egg meet, that heart's created first. That light, then the heart. Okay? So the heart, no one's telling, your brain's not telling it to beat. You can't stop your heartbeat. Your heart runs on its own. Your heart has a mind of its own. There's research done where your heart actually thinks just like your brain. So this connects us to where the heart is the access to the 90, to the creativeness, to the emotions, to the intuitions, to the music, to the art. And they use music, they use art. They use these things that man loves to control the candlestick. Okay? To divide the candlestick. So this is where we have to have control over the candlesticks, and we have to go into all things. We have to realize that it's not as they show. And it's just for a show, and it's for the world stage. And it's to push men, it's to get rid of men. It's to move men. It's to all these things with the man. Because man is the ultimate animal. And as man is the ultimate animal, we have something that connects us to the soul, to the God, and that is our mind. Okay? That is our brain. And our brain is what gives us the light. Because our brain connects, our eyes connects us to our brain. But our heart can't see out. It only sees through our eyes. So this is where our heart's here beating. It controls our brain, but our brain is controlled through our eyes and our ears. So this is where it's kind of a fallen system where man is controlled by our heart, but the mind is being controlled through our eyes and ears. So it's getting access to these candlesticks, these lights out here. And then we have to go into the darkness, into our heart, to figure out what's actually going on, to where we have to go outside of these lights and go into, hey, what makes us happy? What do I need to do today to explore my life in my 20s or my 30s or whatever? Am I going to college because my mom and dad told me to? Am I doing this because Granny told me to? Or whatever. There's a reason why the garden was put eastward. When you look at a compass, you see eastward is on the right side. It's on the physical right side of the hemisphere, so it's taking control of that candlestick of what's right. And this is where we're in that last church age of Laodicea, that last candlestick that Jesus tells you to come out of, where they're going back to the garden. They're going back to the beginning. But when you go back to the beginning, you actually see there's 4 types of beginnings, and it's telling you different things, but they're teaching it as the carnal man, going back to Adam. This is where Paul teaches Jesus as the second Adam. And they use the scripture of John 3:16, where Jesus is actually calling out the religion of the begotten Son, and they're switching it to you to where you go ask Jesus about the begotten Son, all these other things, when you are a begotten Son. It's the inward Jew. It's the inward bond. It's the inward satanic of the New Testament. And it's the outward Jew, the outward satanic of the Old Testament. This is why they're going around killing everybody. This is why the Lord equals the Satan. In Kings and Chronicles, they're the ones asking David to number the people. And that's where you see today Satan, the Lord, coming in and numbering the people to gather up that slave nation, because America is that slave nation, and we're made to love our slavery. And as this nation is made to love their slavery, there's some people who are awake and don't want to love the slavery, and are going to break off and become a new nation of freedom. Just like we're shown and told about, we're going to be doing what we're told about. We're going to have to do what the pilgrims did. We're going to have to reach out and go on faith and leave our shit behind and go to a new land and start our new nation, in a matter of speaking, and leave the bond and go to the free. Just like George Washington had to do, so he could wear his pantyhose and wigs and powder and buckle shoes and all this other stuff that we're shown. Okay? We don't have to agree with it. We don't have to do it. But we can let every man live their life according to the way they want to, because that is how God intended it. And this is what Jesus taught, and that's why Jews, the carnal man, killed Jesus. Killed that light in that dark world. Because they don't understand that light inside of them is being controlled by this trumpet player, by this frequency, by this music. And this world is teaching you to find the evil and the bad in yourself and the bad in all things. And when you're doing that, you're making your light go dim. You're getting depression. You're making your light burn hot. You're getting pissed off. This world is angry. It's going into hell. And the people are going into hell within. And this is where that great tribulation comes open. And it's coming open within because the Antichrist spirit has been at work. And has been setting up a world stage on this window into heaven that connects us. And as this window into heaven connects us, it's going dark on that stage. Those people's flames are going to go dark, and they're going to fucking freak out.